It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to get things started on the Bible show tonight with your hosts, Buddy and Jenny.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Bible show. Last night on the show, Shem told us a very interesting story about Jonah and how that God used Jonah to fulfill his plan of sparing the city of Nineveh.
That's right, buddy. And tonight he's with us to talk about another man named Daniel.
So, let's go ahead and bring Shem on out here tonight and hear from him again. Where's Shem?
Shem. Yo, she with an M. What are you doing? Are you winding around back there?
I'm coming.
Well, you're moving a little slow tonight. You should Mufasa.
Mufasa.
I'm getting there. Be patient.
Good to see you.
Glad to have made it this far.
Well, Shem, we're glad that you've been able to be with us this week and to share with us all these stories. It seems like you have known quite a number of extraordinary men down through the years.
Yes, and I believe we've talked about a few of them already this week. So tell us, Mr. Shem, was Daniel one of your acquaintances?
Which Daniel was that, Miss Jenny? I know about 250 of them.
Okay, let me be more specific. The Daniel that lived in Babylon, he interpreted the king's dreams. He was appointed second in command of the kingdom, and I believe he was thrown into a den of lions.
Oh yes, that Daniel. I met him a time or two. You know, I recall he had 3 friends that came with him from Jerusalem to Babylon. And if I remember right, their names were Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. That's a good bunch of boys. Good bunch of boys. Smart, too. You know, they loved the Lord. And they honored the king. And they had kept up all God's laws in their heart and their lives. And you know, they all stood up for the truth. And if my memory is correct, I believe Daniel was appointed president over the princes by 4 different kings.
Wow. Daniel must have done something right to have gotten that far up the ladder. By the way, what were you doing in Babylon? I thought you were sailing the Great Sea.
You're right, Mr. Buddy, I was. But see, a friend of mine got an order from King Darius for some lions. And he knew that I had sailed once upon a time with a bunch of animals. So he asked me to come along with him to take care of the lions. Well, we sailed around Africa and picked them up at every port along the coast.
I'm sure that was an interesting voyage, since cats hate water. Did you have any problems while you were on board?
Not really, Miss Jenny. I just did what my brother Japheth did while we were sailing on the ark. You know, I sang him a song or two, prayed him a prayer, and then I told him a few stories about the Lord. And then a couple of days later, they were purring like kittens.
Well, I've been told that things were a real mess in Babylon at that time, and that your friend Daniel was right in the middle of it. Several of the princes were jealous of Daniel's power and the position there in the kingdom. They were looking for a reason to betray him to the king. Did you know about that?
No, sir, Mr. Buddy, I didn't. I didn't find that out till after we had delivered all those lines to the captain of the guard there in Babylon. You know, me and my friend had to stay there a few days to wait on the cargo so we could carry it back down the river. And come to find out, those lying princes had got the king to sign a decree making it illegal to pray to the Lord for 30 days. And sure enough, they caught my friend Daniel praying to the Lord. And that's when I found out why they wanted those lines.
What did you do?
I got plumb mad. You know, they were supposed to put Daniel in amongst those lines that afternoon. So I decided to go down to the den where those lines were and see if they'd come back to the ship with me. Well, they didn't pay any attention to what I said. They hadn't fed them in 3 days. And those lions had only one thing on their mind, and that was food. So I decided to look up my friend and tell him about the situation and see if he could come up with a solution to the problem.
Oh, wow. Sounds like things definitely were not going well for Daniel. Was your friend able to help?
Well, Miss Jenny, I told him all the details, and then he looked me in the eye and he said, Shem, don't you worry a bit about that. The Lord's in control of everything. He's going to make everything all right. Well, that still didn't set my mind at ease. But anyway, a little while later, he told me that he had a little errand to run. Well, I didn't see that rascal until the next morning after I went to check on my friend Daniel.
Mr. Shem, we know that Daniel survived the night in that lion's den. How about that? He survived the night in that den of lions without so much as a scratch. Can you explain why?
Sure can, Mr. Buddy. You see, Daniel trusted God with his life. And he understood and knew that if he prayed every day and talked to the Lord every day and trusted what the Lord told him, that God would take care of him. He proved himself to the Lord. You know, Daniel was patient, he was wise, and he respected other people.
So, Daniel was faithful, long-suffering, loving, just an all-around good guy. The super fruits are at it again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they are. Well, I think we're about out of time for tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll be wrapping up our discussion on these superfruits as Shem tells us one of his favorite and final stories. So be sure to tune in to the Bible Show.
Good night, everyone, and thanks for watching the Bible Show.